LSU took a big step forward for as far as facilities went last year in opening up the football facility and nutrition center. A big part of that nutrition center was bringing down the executive chef. Coach Ogeron and the crew talked about finding Michael Johnson from the Seattle Seahawks. You always hear Ogeron talking about trying to emulate that game plan and practice plan and really program that Pete Carroll had unveiled at USC that he carried over to Seattle, and a part of that was the nutrition. And Chef Michael Johnson, who's down at LSU, is really on the cutting edge of some things going on in college athletics, and they're doing it right over there on Skip Burtman Drive, and he's kind enough to join us here on Off the Bench, stopping back by here on OTB, ESPN, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, and Alexandria. Chef, good morning. Thanks for the time.
Good morning, fellas. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Look, a year on the job, and Ogeron told me that everybody comes to him after the championship and said that it was their department that was that was responsible for winning the championship. everybody wants a raise. The video, the recruiting department, everybody's saying it was our department that put us over the top. But he constantly is always talking about the nutrition center and how much it means to recruiting and when the guys get on campus. You've now had some time in the facility. Last time we talked to you was when the doors were opening. How's the place functioning day in, day out?
Swimmingly, I think. Obviously we were fortunate enough to win a championship this year, and it was an amazing ride. The building is functioning perfectly. The athletes are coming and utilizing it as had hoped, and we're getting a lot of good response about it. But in that same spirit, we strive for betterment every day. So, tomorrow's a new day.
Now, Michael, I'm a bit hazy on the details, but I'm thinking back to reading an article last fall. What was it that y'all would do for the seniors each week, like a slice of home or something?
Taste of Home, yeah, that's right. It's actually been one of our more successful programs. So we reach out to family members of seniors that are, obviously they're not going to be with us for the entirety of whatever, and reach out to their families and get recipes from them and interact with the parents for a little while and talk about food. A few of them actually came in and helped us cook, and it's us understanding the athletes, it's us understanding the human beings, it's bringing a little comfort of home in, and it's really been something fun. We just finished one with Taste of England. Obviously, the parents weren't able to fly over, but it was really something fun. We had some athletes that actually, they kind of got a little emotional over it because, they are a long ways from home. They miss their parents, and having a bit of home here was something that they really enjoyed. So it's really been a fruitful program.
Yeah, and it's got to be kind of fulfilling as a chef too. You're getting to really spread your wings at that point. Do you have? I know that the fajokos, right? Then you make like a traditional Hawaiian meal. Do you have a favorite among the Taste of Homes that you've done?
Gosh, I think the first one that we did really was something special, and that was the Samoan night, the Pacific Islander night, if you will, and we cooked the whole pig out on a pit, and really put our feet into it, and it was fun. I spent a lot of time on the phone with Linda Fajoka, and actually built a relationship with her and Billy over the course of the season, even to the point where at the national championship I was sitting late at night talking with them, kind of shedding tears about the enjoyment of the season and trading stories back and forth about life and childhood and everything else. And it was really it really has helped blossom relationships, and it's something kind of special.
Food has brought you to the front line of some pretty cool sporting moments and sporting teams. How cool was last season?
It was amazing. It was inexplicable. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I traveled with the team to away games, and so I got to be there, and watching the guys eat breakfast the morning of the game. When we were at Alabama, I had somebody approach me and say, "What do you think, Chef?" I said, "I think we're about to mow these boys over." He looked at me and asked why. I said, "Well, if breakfast is any indicator, that's what's about to happen, because they were eating comfortably, they were confident, they were calm, they weren't nervous. It's the way that they eat, it's the way that they interact. I had a really good feeling about Alabama, and it just kept moving forward."
Wow,
it's actually some pretty cool insight, 'cause you don't think about that, right? Like, if you're too nervous, if you're too tight, you're a little scared. The tendency is not to eat. So, wow, that's the new analytic. Chef, we're gonna need text reports every game day after breakfast, like how much of the percentage of food was consumed.
In fact, starting on game days, we're getting a food report.
Plate, boys. We might have an update.
Yes, indeed. Chef, so take me to the road. What is your responsibility away from the facility? How tough is it to travel your program with LSU football?
So, my primary piece is to interact with the caterer on the road to make sure that the food is nutritious, hot, it's plentiful, it's cooked properly, and that we're not going to run out. We're set up on time. And to be honest with you, there's a pretty broad spectrum of interaction there between the Starkvilles and the Olive Branches all the way down to New Orleans. So, there were some interesting happenings that were challenges, and we learned from it. I learned from it. And next year we get better at it. But it's really interesting that it's fun to watch the guys eat. It's really interesting to interact with the chefs that are on the road. You'd think that there might be some animosity from some of those on the road places, but in actuality, the chefs kind of have a camaraderie amongst us, and they're really respectful. And being on the road is part of my commitment to who we are and what we're trying to accomplish as a family as LSU Tigers, and I'm blessed to be here. So
somewhere in the middle of that answer is some great stories you could hear in his voice about some of the things that went on late in the season.
Okay, Chef, I'm going to leave some names and places out here, but there was an interaction on the road that we were pushing to get food out, and really my piece is just to kind of oversee it, but the caterer at this one particular place was dragging behind. I was lighting shafers and putting food out, and I turned and looked at this young lady and said, "If we don't hurry up, the food is going to be late." She turned and looked at me and said, "I don't give a hoot if the food is late. I'm a Bama fan." Yeah.
Real quick, I'm going to get Coach O. You tell him that.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, my face went red, and I had to step away, and I stepped out on the dining room floor, and the head dietitian was standing there. He said, "Chef, you all right?" I said, "I got to step outside for a minute."
Chef, they just had Junior Day last weekend, and by all accounts, they had recruits from all over the country, and you're a big showpiece there. What's your responsibility on a big recruiting weekend like you guys just experienced?
It's to interact with the guys and be able to talk about food and nutrition and answer any questions that they have. And as the younger generation grows and comes up, we're seeing a lot more of that. Even to the point where I came in on Thanksgiving Day this past year to meet with a big recruit that he and his family both have a lot of attention to nutrition, and the head dietitian and I came in and met with the family and talked with him and his family about how important it is to us here, and making sure that our principles are on it.
How many student athletes will come into your facility today?
Today?
Yeah. Or just an average of a day, average daily?
Between 600 and 800.
Whew.
So what's the prep?
And you're buying that stuff fresh too, right, Chef?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So daily preparation. Take me through your itinerary daily.
Well, yesterday began today. If you understand what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
The food. Yeah, so we're looking at today into tomorrow. We come in, we have a conversation about what the week has to bring. Well, first I get a cup of coffee, to be honest with you. But after that,
a few.
Nothing happens before then. I sit down with my chefs and we talk about what today brings, what to expect. There's been conversations about coronavirus that we've had to have of late, in anticipation of that. And then, it's about the food, and we have pre-shifts and talk about betterment. And sometimes we talk about spirituality. We talk about whatever it takes to get the human beings on page of striving for betterment, making sure that the food's on pace for what we're trying to accomplish. And then we talk about tomorrow. And then the chefs and I sit down and talk about next week. And we have meetings with the dietitians once a week, where we talk about Taste of Home and the programming for Taste of Home, and any other things that we have coming down the pipe. We have a cochon de lait coming up that I've ordered a whole pig from this place. It's a special pig, so they feed it olive oil and apricots, and so yeah,
that's great.
I'm looking forward to that.
Have y'all done a crawfish bowl yet?
We haven't. We were kind of waiting for March to warm up a little bit, but it is on the agenda to do.
Nice. Can we get on that invite list?
Absolutely.
You
Yep.
got it.
Let's go.
Chef Michael Johnson, we always appreciate the conversation. It's always cool, and unexpected information comes out. It was great this morning, as usual. Thank you, man.
Thank you, guys.
You got it. There
I'm
he
gonna
is.
need that pig.
Chef
I'm
Johnson
gonna need that
checking
pig.
in.
What do you say? Fed olive oil and apples.
Apricots.
Apricots. Oh my God.
How about the relationship development of that position? What goes into it? I mean, he's sitting next to the Fajocos at the national championship game, shedding tears with their family, talking about. I mean, I'm telling you, you ask Ogeron about departments, and it's funny because he tells you like everybody wants a raise, right? Like everybody thinks it was their department that was responsible for pushing them over the top to get them to 15-0. And he said, "Look, guys, if anybody can show up with Joe Burrow, I'll give you a raise." Right? He said, but one guy that can't and one department that can't, and that has made a tremendous difference is the nutrition center and Chef Johnson. And I don't think it's because of his skill of just being able to cook. If you listen to him, I think it's his personality and what he provides
so
to the program.
Yes.
Right.
Obviously.
I mean,
you know,
like, sitting
where
down-
he's sourcing all this food from and the specifics. I mean, it's awesome.
And
great.
so it's the nutrition, it's the ability to then take that attention to detail and that passion and put that out there on the recruiting trail and show these parents and everybody, look at what your kid will be getting when he comes here. It's unlike anywhere else.
And T, you
and
can
that goes
speak
back
to
to like the binder.
You can
and
speak
stuff.
to this. You came from Georgia.
Yeah.
You had Louisiana family in South Louisiana, so you were a little comfortable here, but you were away from home. Think if somebody cooked you your favorite meal while you were away, what that would have just kind of done for your...
For me, all my favorite meals were Louisiana meals because my upbringing. But I get your
the
point.
taste of home.
Yes,
Kind of brings Georgia back to you.
I know it was very special for. I mean, I know Apuaika's Tongan, but I know it was very special, like he said, for the Pacific Islands for them to have that meal last year. I wonder who the English athlete would have been. Maybe a swimmer or something, tennis or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's what.
But anyway, that's the
what we
point.
leave out. It was focused on football, but he feeds every
600 to 800.
Feeds everybody.